Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hi, my name is Nicole and I'm a part-time reseller on Poshmark. Today I wanted to do a video on my top selling brands on Poshmark of all time. I just wanted to kind of talk about like those brands in particular and how I source them, because not only do I buy them at thrift stores, but I also get them other ways. I just wanted to kind of share with you guys what my top selling brands are, and maybe, you know, you should pick them up too if you find them. If you like this video, please feel free to keep watching and subscribe for more. My top selling brand by far, probably by double the other brands, is American Eagle. Now, American Eagle is one of those mall brands that a lot of people say doesn't sell for them, or they don't pick it up because it's not really worth a lot in resale value. But honestly, American Eagle is one of those brands that I pick up most of the time when I see it, assuming that it's, you know, not stained or ripped and it's cheap enough, because ultimately it will always sell for me. I've even picked up like older styles American Eagle, like in pants. I don't make a lot off of them, but they are definitely quick, easy pieces to sell, and so I think that they're definitely worth it. Because they've surpassed all the other brands that I resell, I figure why not. And the good thing with American Eagle is you can get a bunch of pieces and they'll all sell, so it's like you don't have to worry about like one really good item. You can kind of get multiple pieces and you're still gonna make a profit on them. So how I source American Eagle is I get it from my own closet, I get it from friends and family's closets, I get it from thrift stores, and I get it when I go and get donations. I am pretty much open to anything American Eagle, and I just make sure that there's no stains or flaws, and if there is, I try to get them out, or I am honest with the listing and I specify that there's a stain in it. So I highly recommend American Eagle, and while it's just a mall brand, and while a lot of people don't sell it, and maybe it's a saturated brand out there, it will always sell for me. And without a doubt, like, I've been getting so many sales recently of American Eagle pieces, so I recommend it. The next brand behind American Eagle is actually DOONEY and BOURKE. Now, I actually started selling DOONEY and BOURKE when I got it for donation a lot last year, and I'm still selling it to this day. Actually, this purse behind me is a DOONEY and BOURKE bag. I didn't know much about it before I started really getting donations from people, but I was really surprised when a lot of people would actually just donate DOONEY and BOURKE handbags, and I didn't really know much about the brand, but then I started like doing my research, and I found that they actually sell pretty well. Most of the DOONEY and BOURKE that I have sold has mainly been donations. I've actually picked a few things up at like yard sales, and then a couple of them I have sourced myself, but most of the DOONEY and BOURKE that I've sold has actually been free bags that I've gotten from people that I don't know if they just don't care to, you know, resell things, or they just don't know the value of them. But my first couple of sales in DOONEY and BOURKE were all donations, and I was like, wow, this brand actually does sell really well. So from now on, I pick it up if I see it and it's, you know, cheap enough. Sometimes like, you'll see a thrift store will overprice it just because they know that it's like it will sell well. So I just am a little careful when I'm, you know, picking it up. I don't overpay for it. But yeah, I mean, it definitely sells really well for me, so I highly recommend selling it if you can find it. Next brand actually kind of surprised me a little bit, because it's an old school brand that I used to love when I was growing up, but it was like all the rage, and like it was very expensive, and I always wanted to have it, but I just never did have it. And I had it in perfumes. It's Juicy Couture. And this is a throwback for a lot of people. A lot of people think Y2K, they think like 90s. And so I was a little bit shocked, but again, I was donated a bunch of the tracksuit sets, which was the velour tops and the pants. And then I looked up like how much they sell for now, and it blew my mind. They sell like over $100, or, you know, around 50 to 60 for an individual piece. And that was like shocking. After I sold all 4 sets that I was donated, which was incredible because it got me a lot of money, I ended up actually sourcing it a couple times when I was out and about. I would source pants, I would source jackets. I was never able to source an entire set, but even the jackets, the zip-up jackets or the velour pants themselves sell well individually. And so whenever I see them now at the thrift stores, I always source them. And the only time I won't is if it's like in really bad shape, but a lot of the times I can find it at like my local thrift stores, and they're really cheap. They're only a couple dollars each, and without fail I will make, you know, many times that back. I think the lowest I've sold Juicy Couture, and it had like a stain on it, was like $40. So I highly recommend picking that up. I know that Juicy Couture itself doesn't always sell really well, but I know if you pick up the right stuff, it will sell. So for me, I only focus on picking up Juicy Couture velour jackets and pants. I don't know much about the rest of the brand, but just alone with the jackets and the pants, I've made a lot of money doing selling those, so I recommend those. My next top selling brand is actually Express, which is another mall brand, which again I would not have thought would be one of my top selling brands, but I think just over time, from my own wardrobe, from family and friends' wardrobes, from donations, it's kind of like American Eagle. It will sell eventually, and it's expensive to begin with, so I think the resale value is there, but it's not always a brand that I will pick up at the thrift stores unless it's very cheap. So I've gotten a lot of donations along the way, and I've relisted a bunch of my own inventory, my own clothing a lot of the times, and so when I do that, I do make, like, you know, some good money back on it. Sometimes it, you know, the item doesn't sell that well, but a lot of the times I can make good money from Express. So I do source it if I can find it, like, you know, $1 to $2 per item. I actually picked up a really cute long sleeve floral romper a couple months ago from a thrift store. It was $2.50, and I sold it within like a few weeks, and I sold it for like $20, and I was pretty happy because it sold really quick, and it was in the middle of winter, and it was a romper. Didn't expect it to sell that fast, but again, if you pick up the right thing, it will sell. And so for me, for Express, I will source it from my own closet, I will get donations, I will get it from family and friends, and I can just find it anywhere. And my final top selling brand, because I'm only doing a top 5, is Coach. Coach sells really well for me, and it's kind of like DOONEY and BOURKE, where I've gotten a lot of donations, and I didn't really mess with it a lot in the beginning because I always thought, like, oh, well, it's not like a top tier designer handbag brand, so it's not going to sell really well, and like it used to be really popular, but now it's like not much anymore. And one day I was at a yard sale in my community, and I saw this Coach bag. It was like this bright pink, I'll insert a picture so you can see what I'm talking about, but it was a bright pink Poppy X Coach handbag, and I had no idea what that collaboration was or anything about it. I just took a picture using the Google Lens app, which I highly recommend doing if you are trying to find, you know, how much something will sell for. Just take a picture of the item, then it will come up and it'll show you how much it like sells for and stuff. So I took a picture of the bag, tried to be like discreet so the yard sale person didn't know that I was doing that. And I saw that the bag actually sold like close to $200. And so of course I was like, I need to pick this up, I need to get this. And so I quickly grabbed it, and I quickly grabbed a couple other handbags as well. And I went home. The bag was in like pristine condition. She wasn't asking a lot for it. I think in total, when I broke down the cost per bag, I think I paid $8 for the Coach X Poppy bag. And so then I got it listed, and it sold very quickly for well over $100, and I think I actually ended up selling it for like $160 or so. And so I was really shocked to know that it would sell that well. If you get like the old school, like the mini Coach purses, those sell really well too. And just Coach bags in general, if you get the leather, you get the any Coach bags, they sell well. And so anytime I see them out and about at thrift stores or at yard sales, or when I get them as donations, because believe it or not, I have actually gotten a lot of Coach bag donations. I know it's very shocking, but like I don't know if people just don't realize what they're getting rid of, or if they just don't know or care, but I have gotten a lot of donations of Coach bags, so I sell those. The one thing you want to be careful with, and this also goes for the DOONEY and BOURKE bags as well, is you want to just make sure that they're real before you pick them up, because there's so many fakes out there nowadays, and you want to just check the tag to make sure. In the DOONEY and BOURKE bags, you'll see on the inside tag there's like a number, a verification number, and then on the Coach bags you'll see on the label, like it'll specify the number as well. And you also want to make sure on the Coach bags that there's no typos on the tag, because that'll clearly show that it's a fake bag. So if you don't know what to look for, make sure you Google it first before you go out and buy something, because a lot of the times there are fakes out there. And I actually have a story about this. I picked up a fake at a yard sale before I knew to look at the tags to check, and luckily I didn't pay a lot for it, and I actually was able to redonate it to a family member, and they were happy. They didn't care that it was fake. But just be careful when you're picking up these bags, because a lot of the people that they don't know, or even thrift stores, they don't know if it's real or fake. They don't really care if it's real or fake. So just make sure you check first, and make sure you check the tags on the inside, because a buyer will want to know that. And if it's a fake and you sell it to them, they are going to want their money back. So just make sure you check that. These are my top 5 selling brands of all time on Poshmark. Here are some honorable mentions. Lululemon used to sell really well for me, doesn't really sell well for me anymore. Victoria's Secret, that's another one that will sell for me. It's just not my top selling brands. Spanx and Pulitzer is another really good one. So these are all brands that like have really sold well for me over time, and a lot of the times they don't take a lot of pieces to sell because they sell really expensive to begin with. So these are the brands that I typically will look out for when I go sourcing, and I typically will buy if it's cheap enough and I can find them. And so let me know down below what are your top selling brands and what you look for when you source, and if you source any of these brands, or how your experience selling these brands are, because I'm always curious to see if other people have, you know, if they're able to sell the same brands that I am, or if they, you know, sell other brands better. So let me know down below what you sell all the time, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.